right, it is Thursday night. It is a minute after 7 o'clock, and that means it's time for music, motivation, and mindset. My name's John Parker. Thank you for stopping by and watching this, whether it's live for you or on the replay. I do appreciate it. Today we have a really cool guest. It's Aldo Marin from Cutting Records. He's got a storied career in the music business, and I really can't wait to dig in with some of this stuff because he started like all of us, well, most of us anyway, as DJs. And he's really worked his way up into the industry. He's got his own record label. He's had massive amounts of success. So why don't we just bring on Aldo right now and we can start the show. How's that sound? Pretty good. All right, Aldo, welcome. Welcome to the show.
How are you, John?
Good. What's going on, man?
Good. Hanging in there, man.
Good. Aldo actually had a little accident, so he almost didn't make it today. But he's had a little slamming the finger in the door problem there. But I'm glad you're well. That's good.
Thank you.
So what I like to do is when I start the show is I like to talk about more of the motivation and the mindset of when you first started out. And like as a kid growing up, were you into music like at an early age? Were you in a musical family? How did you get started on the path very young as a person that was interested in music?
There was always music on in my house.
Okay.
Whether it be Latin or rock. My brother was into all types of, Grateful Dead and all types of rock music, salsa, all different types. Cuban music, because I grew up in a Cuban household.
Okay.
So a lot of parties, a lot of house parties.
Right. Sure.
Thing. And at the age of 10, I started working with my brother at the record store, the music house.
Okay. And where was that, in the Bronx?
Uptown Manhattan.
Manhattan?
On Dyckman Street, actually.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool.
111 Dyckman.
I still remember the address.
Records right out of the store,
Oh, you did? You started the label out of the store?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
The very first Al Nafish by Hashim. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Right out of the record store.
Wow. So when you were in the store working, like what were you doing? Like how did you start? Just like helping out, sweeping floors? What was it?
No, I first dancing in the front of the store.
Okay, there you go.
Bringing in people. No. As a little kid, and then actually selling 45s. And if somebody came in to buy, one or two songs, and I already picked up on like what they liked, I was their curator, at that time. I was playing them other songs like, oh, you might like this one if you like that one, and blah, 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 and sell them 3 or 4 songs that they weren't looking to buy. But,
they came in for one, they walked out with 5, know? That's perfect. So now you're doing that kind of stuff. And how long did that last? How long did you work in the store for?
Ooh.
Wow. I mean, were you a teenage, late teens?
No, I mean, I stayed at the store even when we started the label and we started our office. I used to go on Saturdays, and be at the store all day on Saturday, just to keep knowing what was going on before it happened, before the major labels picked up on something. We already knew what was going to happen, and that's the type of music, we collaborate and try to get something going on,
Right,
but
sure.
We started with electro hip hop, which was the Nafish and Imperial Brothers and B-Boys Breakdance by High Fidelity 3 and a whole bunch of different songs on that end. And then around 85, 86, we started doing some freestyle with Sapphire and Eagles, with Love Letter, and a bunch of different songs on that end. Sure. Just gradually we changed with the times, at the time.
That's how you stay alive, you got to kind of change it up, especially as an independent. Like, you've got to move fast and you have to listen to what the streets are saying and kind of follow that direction a little bit. So when you were a kid, what were you listening to by your choice? Not just what your brother was playing. Were there artists that you were really into, or? like influences or?
I remember some of my first 45s were like Hughes Corporation, Rock the Boat, and Soul Makusa, Mano Dibango. One of the first albums I had was MFSB, Love is the Message, and, you know, Babe Ruth, the Mexican, and, you know, so on and so forth.
So that's the kind of sound that you, when you had the record player, that's what you were popping on.
Yeah, all TK records, all that, you know, disco at the time, when disco was big, Donna Summers, Giorgio Moroder, big fan of all Giorgio stuff. All the Giorgio stuff.
He did no wrong, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and Alec Constantino and all that type of stuff at that time.
Romeo and Juliet, big record.
Yeah, Boris Medley. Had some USA European Connection or whatever. Yeah, bunch of different songs.
Different sounds.
You know, gradually got into the electro when, you know, the whole Planet Rock,
Bambaataa stuff. Yeah.
Tommy Boy Records, you know, came out with that, and it really, that and Kraftwerk. Kraftwerk was Numbers and all that, Trans Europe Express and all those type of songs really influenced, you know, Hashim, the Al Nafish song. You know? Yeah,
without a doubt. It's what's amazing is with like Kraftwerk, like they were so ahead of their time that sound still works today. Like you could put that record out and it still would work.
Because they made their own sounds. They didn't just use things out of the box.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people now, they just use things out of the box. And it's like, you go through some of the sounds, you're like, oh, you can name the songs.
I can tell you which pack you got this out of.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because I think that, you know, as students of music, you should be out there creating your own stuff and maybe, you know, taking some of that, but you can change it. I think when Daft Punk broke up, someone had posted like, you know, one of their songs, how they came up with one of the samples, and it was taking 3 parts of a disco song, combining them for that one sound.
Right.
And it was like, you know, you could see it, and it was pretty wild to see that because, you know, I'm thinking they kind of created it or just used a sample or whatever. But they took something, but were creative with it. It wasn't they took it and just threw it on a record as was.
Yeah.
So, you know, get creative.
Absolutely.
You know, that's why you're producers, right?
Yeah.
When did you think about a music career? Was it working in the store? Was the record label first? Was it you worked at KTU, you know, the original KTU? Right. What led to the path that said, hey, you know what, I think I could really make a living at this?
Honestly, I never thought of it that way.
Okay.
Everything just gradually happened, thank God. When we did Nafish, Jerry Khalees and I went and shopped it to several different labels, and it was kind of too instrumental for them, and they wanted a rap on it, or, you know, they just weren't feeling it just instrumental like that. And Jerry and I were like, we want to put it out just like this. It had like 5 words in the whole song.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rockfish, you know, just feel it. And it's time, you know. And that its timeline wasn't even written down on anything. You know, I had the headphones on. The guy told me, the engineer told me what keys to hold on to. And when I heard a little roll in my headphones, that just came out. And that's, you know, what they scratched the most, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, from that song, that and Just Feel It, you know.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. So now you produced that record, or I
produced it.
You produced it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Jerry Khalees and I produced it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And who did the vocals for you?
Well, I did the It's Time.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah, that was my vocal.
Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't really register with me that, I don't know, that when I did the Fire Chat with Red Bull.
Okay.
And we started talking about it, and just the reaction from the guy that was interviewing me, I was like, oh wow, you know, like I never thought of it like, yeah, that's me, you know.
Uh-huh.
It was just like I did that line and Jerry did Just Feel It, and we both did different things. He actually did a rap on the song with the vocoder, and we used it on the Cutting Remixes album. I don't know if you remember that. The
I
Cutting,
actually, yeah. I think I might have just digitized that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the one with the group shot in the back.
Yeah.
You saw that. And then you know, we just started doing a lot of productions and editing. One of my first edits was It's Your Rock by Fantasy 3, which
Okay.
a lot of people, you know, they didn't know that I had done the edits on the instrumental side, and that's what they used to scratch as well. You know, a lot of different productions, but
Right.
yeah.
That's cool. All right, let's say hello to a few people. DJ Scoop down in Houston. What's up? We got Tom is in New Jersey. Excuse me. Scotty B. And Nathan's hanging out with us today. So very cool. Let's talk a little bit about you were one of the, I think, the original DJs, mix show DJs on KTU, the original KTU back in the 80s.
Yes.
How did that come about? Was it just you were club DJ and they spotted you and you applied, or was it a contest? I mean, what happened there?
I used to make cassettes, mix cassettes. Actually, way back, I used to do the 8-tracks and everything, but the cassettes,
8-tracks,
we used to sell at the store to close friends and family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they, one of the scouts or one of the people that worked at KTU, lady by the name of Kelly Monahan, she worked for Carlos de Jesus at KTU, and she went to the same dentist office that I went to.
Okay.
And my dentist used to get my tapes and play them at his dentist office. And believe it or not, she heard it there. She was like, "What station are you playing?" And he's like, "No, that's one of my customers."
That's wild that they would play it at a dentist's office, because you think you go to a dentist or doctor and it's like, oh, I'm going to go to sleep now. But
no, not this dentist. He was crazy. He was a good guy though. And she actually called me like on a Monday morning, and my mom's like, "Somebody's on the phone for you." And I grabbed the phone and she's like, "Yes, this is Kelly Monahan from KTU. We'd like you to do a demo for the station." I was like, "All right, who is this?"
Like, was this really?
The radio station was calling me. And that's what happened. Like, I gave her a tape. I met up with them, gave them a tape. And a few hours later, they called me up and she was like, "You're going to be on today, Paco Super Mix." And I was like, no, I can do better than that. Don't play that on the radio.
I wasn't meant for that.
And they played it at 410, you know, which was his slot, his Paco Super Mix.
Uh-huh.
The rest is history. I mean, like a year or two later, they had the battle of the DJs, and, you know, we were all in it, like Jelly Bean and The Animal, Jose Diaz.
Yeah.
A bunch of different people were in it, and I ended up winning first place in 1982. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So then I got a couple of club gigs and stuff, Elegante and Broadway 96 and all these things. And, you know, I just, when Nafisha hit, it was just crazy. I stayed on the radio for like another year or two, but then after that, I had to dedicate myself to, you know, to working the records and getting them out there. We used to go out there in the car and the truck and whatever we had, go all the way out to Long Island, to Hop Hog, to pick up vinyl and bring it back to the city.
Yeah.
And mail it out from there. Yeah.
That's what they used to do. People used to sell it out of their trunks, you know. Yeah. I remember I worked at record stores and people would pull up in their, you know, cars, and you open the trunk and, all right, I need 2 of those, 3 of those, you know.
Yep.
Now, when you were doing the
soul like that,
yeah, here you go. When you were doing the mixes for KTU, were they were they on reel to reel? Because I know that you did a lot of editing.
They were reels, yeah. Actually brought one because I had a feeling you were going to ask about that. And these are the type of tapes they used to give us at the station.
Okay.
You know, and I used to do the editing and all that on there, and ain't no stopping us now. McFadden and Whitehead, like a mix on there. Stay the Night, Billy Ocean, The Glow of Love by Change, you know, the Battle of the DJs type of thing. So yeah, they used to give us these, and we used to hand them in for the 4 o'clock mix and Friday, Saturday night mixes and stuff.
Right.
That's bad.
Scotty B is pretty funny. He wants to know, does anyone know who Bartel's dentist is?
Oh no.
You trying to get a show, Scotty?
That's fun.
So yeah, okay. So yeah, so you were doing them on reels and stuff. Were you doing your own remixes at that time for the shows, or
Yes.
was that you were? Okay.
Yeah. We used to do what was called custom music mixes, and I used to do little medleys and all types of, you know, I used to make the medleys, and then sometimes I would go to Sunshine. I don't know if you remember. I brought an acetate also.
Wow.
Medleys. This was John Morales.
Okay.
If you can see that.
Yeah,
I did the artwork. It was a white cover, and yeah, we used to go to a place called Sunshine. And do these acetates, and I used to play them at the clubs and stuff. And
wow, yeah. That's cool.
That or reel to reels. We used to go and put the reels on and mix.
Yeah,
and everything. Yeah.
Which again is kind of wild to be able to mix from a reel. You know what I mean? To me,
yeah.
I mean, that takes some special talent. Because I could never do that.
Yeah, Jelly Bean was really good at that.
Yeah, actually, my college station, I don't know how we wound up with, but we had 2 or 3 of his mixes from KTU, like on reel.
Oh, really?
I have no idea how they wound up there, but I should have took them. But
yeah,
collector's editions.
Yeah, I used to go a lot to and hang out at the booth with John when he was at the Fun House.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When Madonna first started coming out.
Wild times.
Single and performing there and everything.
Yeah.
Great times.
So after KTU, I think it was you, or maybe it was before, you got to work at Arthur Baker's studio, Shakedown Studios. What were you doing there?
It was before I started the label, and I was already on. Him and John Roby had heard about me from my mixes on KTU, and they called me in to see if I could work with them. And it worked out really well. I did a bunch of different editing projects for him, which you could probably find on Discogs and all that I've done. And I learned a lot with Arthur, definitely a lot in the studio and watching him doing mixes. And Shep Pettibone used to do stuff at his studio as well, Shakedown.
Okay.
Studios. So, yeah, before I even had the label, I was working with him. And then when I continued working with him, because that's how I was kind of making money,
right,
before everything kind of took off,
Sure. So now what was the motivation to start your own record label?
Getting denied our demo being passed on from all these different labels.
Right.
My brother had originally lent us money to go into the studio, and then I had to ask him for more money to start pressing up and creating the label.
Wow.
Yep.
What was the first
the saw blade?
Yeah, which is an iconic logo, you know?
Yeah.
Do you sell merch with the logo on it and stuff?
I do. I got some shirts on our website, and we might do a couple of new things nowadays.
Okay.
Very,
very nice. So be sure to go there. Is it Cutting Records Music, or is it just Cutting Records?
CuttingNYC.com or CuttingRecords.com, either one.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So check that out.
Yeah.
What was your first release on Cutting?
It was Nafish.
That was your first release.
CR200. Yep.
Nice to come out of the box with a smash.
Yep. and 200 because we were on Dykeman, and Dykeman was 200th Street.
Oh, okay.
So we did CR 200. 2 is one of my favorite numbers. My first group that I put together was 2 in a Room.
Yep.
You remember that?
Sure.
And that was a bunch of different producers, different artists that worked on it with me. But the way we originally started the group is me and someone else, either the keyboard player or an artist or another friend. Benji Candelario used to do a lot of stuff with us at the very beginning. A lot of Omar Santana. It's like the list goes on here.
He was some editor.
Yeah, Todd Terry, a bunch of different Carlos Barrios. There's a bunch of people on that album.
Wow.
And it was cool. Just DJ friends, because 1 or 2 of the singles that I had put out that I started on my own with a keyboardist called Johan Brunkvist. He used to play for Todd Terry as well and all that. And we did these 2 songs, and they started taking off in Europe, in the UK. Somebody in the House Say Yeah, and a bunch of different songs we did there. And all of a sudden the song started taking off, and I was like, oh, we need to put out an album. And that's when I gathered all certain friends and DJ producers, and we did that album.
Oh, that's cool. So now 2 in a Room, how did that single come about? Wiggle It.
Wiggle It was produced by George Morel and I. He had done a song called As It Grooves on this album.
Okay.
And it was an instrumental song. George was always trying to get a song out on cutting. He would bring us demos, and I kept calling him. No, we got to pass on that. We got to pass on this. I like your stuff, but it's not what I'm looking for. And one day I call him, and on his answering machine is this instrumental track. And he's talking over it. And I'm like, if that's original, that's what I want. And that was the song on this album called As It Grooves.
Okay.
Dose, which is the rapper on Wiggle It, did a song with Roger Pauletta called Do What You Want on this album as well. And that took off. So I really liked the George Morel instrumental.
Yeah.
And I gave it to Dose, and I said, write a song on this. And he was really into rap, and he wrote a rap that went through the whole song, and it had little things, like hooks and stuff.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a hook, like there wasn't a chorus. And we kind of came up with that chorus right at the studio, because he did that wiggle it just a little bit, and we just took that and made the chorus.
Used it as a chorus.
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
very cool.
So yeah, this song that was on a answering machine ends up being one of the biggest songs
ever. Like,
is that incredible?
It is. Actually, you licensed that last year, right, to a product?
Yeah, we did a license for Barbie for her pig.
Let me see. Go ahead, press it. That's great.
I don't know if you can hear it good on
there. Yeah, we can hear it.
But yeah, it was a good licensing thing, and we concentrate on trying to get stuff either in movies or series or things like that. We had Straight Outta Compton with Nafish, and Def Jam also asked us for Nafish for their 30th anniversary album, because it was one of Rick Rubin's favorite songs that really inspired him to do Def Jam.
Yeah.
On his own,
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, we have a question. So Sevian wants to ask you, how did Cutting discover Koro how did Koro come across Cutting's desk?
Wow. We did Love Letter by Giggles, which was written by Zahid Tariq and his wife Deborah, and that is how we met Koro, through that.
Through the writing team?
Yes.
Okay.
They were the ones that Zahid brought Koro to us and said, "You like this?" Blah blah blah. We went into the studio and finished it up. They wrote it, they produced it. I did the mix with Todd, you know.
Yeah.
Are You Tonight and Can't Let You Go and all those.
It's the classics.
Yeah.
I mean, this still played like, everywhere, which is, still wild.
We have a new single coming out with him hopefully soon.
Okay, cool. Well, when you do, come on the show with them, bring them on.
Julio Mena did the production,
Mm-hmm.
wrote the song, and it's really good.
There you go.
Definitely Koro style,
There you go. Very good. What's up, DJ Leone, Chuck Barrett, both from Promo Only, checking in. Russ Harris, El Trago, back in the day when licensing and sampling Don't Go by Yaz didn't cost an arm and a leg. Well, most of the time it wasn't cleared. I don't know if it was in that record, but
that, and actually the one that came running to us was one of the Peach Boy guys that did
Don't Make Me Wait.
Yeah. We used some of it in that, and we cleared it with him and everything. It was good.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, that was crazy. That was another one that the Vargas brothers, Victor Vargas and Danny Vargas, God rest his soul, they produced that song, El Trago, and it was instrumental, but it had that hook, and also gave it to Dos. Dos did a rap on it, and it became a Two in a Room record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stories. Do you remember like the first time you heard one of your records played on the radio? Well, I mean, was it you that played it, maybe?
Pretty much.
Outside of that.
I didn't play it first, actually. We had the test pressing of Hashim Al Nafish. Jerry was in my car downstairs, and I took it up to Carlos de Jesus, and I played it for Kelly and Carlos, and I was like, what do you guys think? Blah, blah, blah. You like the song? I know it's instrumental, but it's really a strong song. And Carlos said, take it into Paco and have him play it. And he played it right there off the test pressing.
Wow.
And Jerry was in the car, Hashim, when he was like, how did you do that? Yeah, thank God. Those were the good old days that you didn't have to go through all these red tapes and hoops and all these things to
rings of fire
on the radio. People went with their gut.
What happened to that? I
have no idea. I think corporate America took over and just
if it's not safe, we can't do it.
It's crazy.
It's just, look, everything's over-researched. It's like sometimes you got to be able to say, hey, you know what? I know that my audience in this particular area is going to love this and eat it up. Let's play
that's why I like the original Hot 103 when Joel Sakowitz was, had the balls to play new records every week.
Right.
Every week. Not once a month. Every week.
Yeah.
Yeah. No name artists.
It didn't matter. No, I know. It's just, it was so much better than, I think, for all labels, because I think the independents could compete with the majors at that point. You know what I mean? Because the majors basically didn't care about dance music. They're just looking for whatever's the biggest thing. They're going to cherry pick it and move on.
Right.
But we've made careers out of finding these records that are massive that they would never touch because they're dance music.
Right.
Now
it's like
you can't get it.
So how's it reacting, and what do you have on it? And that's do
you have 10 million followers?
In that catch-22 that you can't get anything really going unless it's a runaway hit,
Right.
And the DJs make it happen.
Yeah. No, absolutely. 100% true.
Hard right now with the COVID situation going on, but You
Well,
know,
things are looking a little bit better. I'm seeing some clubs opening up in some cities, so let's hope.
we pray.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Now, Cutting was definitely one of the instrumental freestyle labels. Like we said before, you'd done some Sapphire Records, Karina, Giggles. Now, Giggles Love Letters is actually one of my favorite pressings of a record ever, because you had that as it went into the, dead area in the middle,
Right.
it looped upon itself.
Oh, yes.
And
At the
so it was
very end.
an endless, chorus or whatever it was, a refrain over there.
We did that with a couple of records. They don't come to mind right now, but that's one of them. And Herb Powers is the one that mastered it. And if you could even read in between the grooves, he always used to write a little something about the song or about us. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, those were the fun times where you'd listen to it, and all of a sudden it's going till the end. You're thinking, all right, I got to move in. Wait, it keeps going. It's
right.
looped upon itself.
Yeah.
So those kind of things. I used to have like laser etched records, which were kind of cool.
Right.
Again, the fun things you could do with vinyl, you can't do anymore. You can't do that with digital files.
Right.
So.
Yeah. No. Look how we used to make tapes on reels, and now it's in the air.
It's all somewhere. We don't know where it is. In the cloud somewhere.
In the cloud somewhere.
Cutting made a switch with the times to go from the freestyle-y sound into more house music. How is it to make that pivot? Because again, you're an independent label. I'm sure there's not a ton of money in marketing, and you have to almost find a whole new audience for that kind of sound. So how'd you go about doing that, and what was part of the success there?
I heard this sound coming from Chicago called house music.
Yeah.
And we had signed Nitro Deluxe. He was into electro, like hardcore electro. We did Journey to Cybertron. That was really electro.
Yeah.
And his next single, I told him, look, this sound is coming out of Chicago. We really like to do something like this. And we did the beat, 808 drum machine, one keyboard, one digital delay, one sampler in my mother's apartment, in my bedroom, my old bedroom. And I had an 8-track 1/4-inch reel-to-reel.
Okay.
And we just layered upon layered these sounds and reverb onto tape and everything that you're not supposed to do as an engineer.
Right.
We did it on that song. Yeah. And thank God it came out the way it did. And the very long version of that, there's only one edit at the very end when it starts, like, it sounds like it's almost skipping and stuff, but that was us on the drum machine, turning it on, turning it off, turning it on, turning it off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then, there was one little mistake and I cleaned it up, but that was in 14 minutes. I think the song was that one side.
Yeah.
One edit. It was all live and all done straight to tape. That's the one that I took to my record pool that I was in, Shore Record Pool in the Bronx.
Bobby Davis.
I played it for Bobby Davis and the guys there, and they loved it. They were like, oh, and I was like, oh, it's not finished. That was just one pass that I did to bring it to you guys to listen to it. And then a couple of weeks later, I take the edited version and all that to the pool, play it while the DJs are coming in and out. And Bobby and the guys were, I think it was Eddie Rodriguez and a bunch of guys there. They were like, look, we like the original one, the very long one, not the 7-minute version, not the 6-minute version. We like the long one, that one that you brought the very first time. I was like, that was the demo, but okay. And I put it on one side and it went pop in Europe, in England and all over. Like, people went crazy with that song.
Isn't it crazy? A 14-minute song and people going nuts. And now, like, if it's 3 minutes, it's too long.
It was in Top of the Pops and all that in England. We actually did a remix last year with Nordicato.
Okay.
Did a reboot of it, and we put it out last year, and it did very well as well.
Nice.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Little
So
by
what?
little. Well, what you could call well nowadays.
Well, yeah. Again, record labels just getting killed. You know what I mean? You used to be able to sell records and make a profit. Now it's, you can make 30 cents a record. It's like a download.
If
that. Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
Fraction of a penny nowadays with streaming and stuff.
Yeah.
We got to split that penny like 20,000.
Right. And just imagine if you put out hip hop, you got 45 writers on each record.
Yeah. Well, thank God the streaming people pay direct to the writer and all that stuff.
You don't have to mess with that.
Yeah.
As a label now, as an independent label, what are some of your marketing challenges?
Wow. Everything.
Yeah. Like, I hear you.
Just getting anything out there, it's not easy nowadays.
No.
The artist has to hustle, the social media situation and trying to get gigs. I mean, that's how you used to get heard. And nowadays it's, not happening right now, but hopefully by the middle of this year, it'll open and things will start moving again.
Do you think that it's become a little bit easier for the independent labels to compete with the majors? Because, not at radio, because that's still a major label game. Right. But with all the do-it-yourself, people out there showing the ways, and you see a lot of these really independent artists, striking it big on TikTok and then becoming a big hit. So are there ways that an independent label can really still hustle and cut through all the clutter? Because with 30,000 records a week coming out, it's hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. And it either has to be an influencer or somebody that has, hundreds of thousands or millions of people on their social media in order to get some traction. We were lucky enough a couple years back, and it took a while to get there, but we have a song called Savage Mode. I don't know if you see the flag back there, but it did over 15 million streams,
okay.
Across Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, all of them. And the song got on one of those what was it called, the Savage Mode, I forgot the name of the playlist. It's a big playlist that they do exercise to on Spotify, and it just kept getting plays and getting on different lists, different people, and the song did very well. Thank God.
Right. Yep. And that just came naturally, like someone had just found it and threw it on a playlist?
Yeah. Yep.
So with the music you're putting out now, is the workout stuff still a big source of income? Because I know for some people it is.
For some people, we still keep trying to do stuff with Zumba and all that. And we got a few records on there. It's just, like you said, so many different artists and labels putting out tons and tons of records a week,
Yeah.
So it's very hard to get through that, but thank God once in a while we get through there.
Cut through the clutter.
Yeah.
Would you say that like America is your biggest marketplace? Is it Latin America? Is it Europe for the music that's coming out now from the label?
Wow, it all depends. Lately, it's been more like US and stuff like that. But with our Latin product, South America had a lot to do with it. Colombia, Chile, Venezuela, when Venezuela was, party animal town. But nowadays, that's kind of rough as well,
Right. Are the older catalog stuff doing well now? Because during COVID, it seems like everyone wants something familiar. They're listening to records of their youth. So does that do really well for you still, or like out of the ordinary well, or is it still,
Some stuff still does well. the Fulanito stuff really does really well for us. It's still moving, thank God, and still doing some stuff, like the original album, the first album, El Hombre Más Famoso, that went platinum at that time and all that.
Yeah.
People still listening to Guayando and Cepillo, a couple of different songs. It just got sampled. A song called La Novela got sampled on El Alfa, which is a big Dominican reggaeton type of artist.
Okay.
And that did millions of plays on YouTube and stuff like that.
Cool. Is that still a big source of income for the label, the sampling stuff?
Sampling, yeah. I mean, here and there. Last year, Saldano, I think of it, Saldano and Paul Wofford did Tear It Up, a song called Tear It Up, which the sample came from the original song that we put out, Kicking in the Beat, by Pamela Fernandez. Turn Me Out by Kathy Brown, and Praxis still gets a lot of requests for samples, and different songs. A lot of people try to sample some stuff that we're like, no, it can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You listen to the demo, go, yeah, no.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's funny. All right, stepping out of the music business for a minute, you do a lot of charitable work with an organization called the Rivera Foundation. Can you tell me a little bit about what that's about, what the foundation does?
Yes. I've been with them, a committee member, for almost 8 to 10 years in that.
Okay.
A friend of mine, John Gungi Rivera, his son Christian had passed away. He passed away from DIPG, and it's cancer that gets on the brain stem of young kids, and we do a gala once a year, a celebrity gala, and in 2019 they awarded me with a special dedication award. And I do the best I can, for the foundation. It goes to trials with Mark Surdane, which is a doctor from Cornell Medical in New York. And there's a couple kids already that have survived. And previously to us doing a lot of this work, no kid was a survivor of this kind of,
wow.
The IPG. And it doesn't get funded because it's not enough people pass away in 1 year from it. But it could be anybody's kid.
Sure.
It could be my granddaughter. You know what I mean? And like anybody could get it at any time, or any small child.
Yeah. So what's the best way for people to help out? I mean, are they looking for volunteers in the area, or is it just to donate money?
Donations, like right now I put up on my Facebook, for my birthday next month, if you could donate whatever it is, $5. If all my friends just send $5, $10, we'd make a lot of money to go towards the trials and to help out families in need at that time with their child.
Right. No, absolutely.
You do it. Once a year, we do a walk, 5K walk.
Okay.
I think this year is going to be like in July, early July. Right now, we're doing a raffle. We selling tickets in a raffle. Different things. That raffles for like 2 Yankee tickets and a couple of different restaurants and blah blah blah. So
okay. So yeah, everyone just jump on there. Go to the ChristianRiveraFoundation.org. Or you can just go to Aldo's Facebook page. He has that up.
Aldo sent you. No.
There you go. Make sure you say that.
Yeah.
Very cool. And shout out to John Kano, who says you're doing a great job.
Oh, John Kano.
Yeah.
Whoa. What's up, John?
Very cool. We talked a little bit about it, but last year has been rough for the labels, for artists, for nightclubs, everyone with COVID going on. A lot of labels have kind of slowed down the releases a little bit, especially early on because they weren't sure what was going on. Did that ever affect you guys? Did
We actually,
with it?
we don't put out a ton of records a year, but we did slow down. And this year we really slowed down until now that we're gonna rev up again and start putting out some singles. You know.
Okay, I mean, just listening to your people, the DJs and stuff. Do you think that people are excited to go back out to clubs and stuff again, or to see live shows?
Half are dying to get out there, and the other half are like scared to go out there. So I don't know. I hope things start moving again, and enough people get the vaccine that things flatten out, and we don't have to be terrified to go and enjoy ourselves with our friends and family.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that a lot of people have been so cooped up that, like, and you do see it in New York a little bit, not so much in the city because they're only at 50%, but out here on Long Island, it's like people are just raring to go. Like, they've opened it up to 75%. So like these places are jammed now, with people. I went to, a brunch with, my kids over the weekend, and 75% capacity, which I don't know how they even fit. Like, they must have like this much room between the tables at 100%, because every table was taken and we were on top of people. So it's, I think that people are excited to come back again. I know I kid around with Scotty a lot. He's in Orlando and Florida and Leone, because it seems like Florida is never closed, and that, like, and they, they have acts rolling through there all the time, and things seem normal there.
I see Chuck is in the room too.
Yeah, Chuck's hanging out and watching. So, but and down there, everyone's excited still. So hopefully that excitement comes across the country, and once everyone does get their shot, I know that people feel different ways about it, and that's your personal opinion. That's cool. Yeah. But if we can get it to a place where everyone feels safe about going out again, it'd be really nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. One of the things I talked to a bunch of artists about is remixes. And you being a remixer and someone who's done a lot of editing and stuff, how do you feel about the remixes of today? Do they still have a purpose for the most part? Or is it just kind of like, because you see a lot of guys just making their own acapellas and just throwing stuff up for their own use, and it's much easier to do nowadays than it used to be.
It is, but I feel like a lot of them don't do like what we used to do. We used to do the bonus beats and the dubs and the different type of versions. Now it's like Spotify, 2.5 minutes. You know what I mean? And this dance song.
The remix is 3:30.
Yeah, that's the extended mix. It's crazy. I mean, I still like, 32 bar intros and 16 bar, breaks and that type of stuff. But it is what it is nowadays.
Yeah,
and they could loop if you put 4 bars at the intro. They could loop that for as long as they want. Mix it in. I mean, it all depends on the DJ, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
their activity with the machines,
right? How good they can operate.
Exactly.
One of the things that, like, I've had arguments with over labels the last couple of years is you're sending me something to have mix show guys play it or clubs play it, and you have no intro at all, and you have no outro. And what do you think they're going to do with this? It's like, the labels have to be a little bit more responsive when they take a project in and say, all right, well, go back and put an intro and outro in. Right. I mean, we had Chuck do it because Chuck's really good at editing, so he'll figure out a way to do stuff. But yeah, it's crazy. I don't understand why that's not part of the mentality.
Promo only edit.
Yeah, that's what it is. They had to make their own because there weren't none available.
Yeah.
Which is just, to me, not how you would run a label if you want, music played in a club, be it hip hop, R&B, or dance.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
True, true.
There you go. What's Scotty saying now? Well, hold on. We got a few. Scotty said, "Yep, two stage festivals are happening in Orlando this week."
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of interesting. Nick Wax, what's up, buddy? Just tuning in. Great question. They are absolutely needed, but the reasons have changed for sure. Scott says 90-second quick edits. There you go. It's true though.
Yeah. So they don't get what do you call that? Caught.
Yeah. In the streaming, get a strike. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't get BDS detections and all that stuff.
That's right.
So what's that, Nick? Right? You have to have your 2:30 radio Spotify version, but you need a 5-minute club mix with extended intro. Yeah, even if look, it could be 3.5 minutes. I don't care as long as there's an intro and outro on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Give me something. And then what's up, Gary? Flagged. There you go, Scotty. Scotty says you don't want to be flagged. Get those strikes against you and they'll throw you off.
Crazy.
I know. What's next for Cutting Records? What are you up to? What's any new releases coming out in the near future?
We do songs with the Santana Twins, and they usually feature different artists on their songs. We have Julio Mena, which last year had a top 30, top 28. I think it peaked at like 28 on the Billboard chart. And I Want It All. And we have a new song by him coming, actually an EP and everything, Melody Monster.
Yeah.
So, and the Koro single, a couple of different things, here and there.
There you go. Yeah. All right, so we'll be looking forward to that. Hopefully they'll all have extended remixes.
You know it.
Oh, you're a DJ, so you know what you need.
Yeah.
A lot of these labels are just business people now, so.
Yeah. No, we're looking for the sound, the quality, Yeah. Herbie still works with us. He still does a lot of our mastering and stuff.
Yeah, when I was at Profile, he did a lot of ours too.
Yeah, Profile. Yeah. Emergency Records, everybody.
What's up, Sean? DJ Spawn in the house saying extended mixes are now 347. Yeah, that's true. No bathroom break records anymore. They don't have those.
Crazy.
All right, and final question: any thoughts for the aspiring artists, producers, labels that are just getting started out on what they can do to give themselves the best chance of success?
Try to be as original as possible, and listen to what's going on outside that you could kind of get your song mixed with some of the stuff. Like the Dua Lipa songs are my favorite, type of songs, like the disco stuff that she did and all that. Those songs to me are great,
Yeah.
And she took an old style and made it new, and it works. And it works for radio as well.
Right. She made it her own, which is important.
Talented,
Yeah.
She got the look, she got the dancing down, she's got the whole package.
The whole package going on, you know? That's cool. Yeah, the album is pure fire. That's true.
But yeah, you got to just, stick to something coming out of you all natural, if possible. Make your own sounds with the keyboards, tweak it as much as possible. Go into each individual track and make it the best possible,
Yeah, no, I think that being the original part is definitely true. I think a lot of people try to sound too much like what's out there already. And if you do that, you're already 6 months behind because by the time, and I think that's something that you've always, done is stayed ahead of the curve.
Right.
Which is important.
We had the advantage with the store that we knew what was coming before it would happen, Yeah,
nowadays, absolutely.
It could be anything. It just has to get in the right, what is that?
Current, riptide.
The algorithm, the right algorithm, and then it takes off on its own.
Yeah. But that's hard to get to. I wish we had the solution to that because that would be $1 billion idea. So what's up, Speedy? Speedy's checking in, says he loves us.
Oh, Noel.
You know, I gotta have Speedy on one day. He can tell you about the good old days because we went to school together.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean it was me, him, Geronimo, Tracy Clarity, Ralphie Marino. Yeah, in college.
Oh wow.
I mean Mickey Garcia. It was like it's some crazy stories.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll definitely have him on one day.
Yeah.
But look, it was great to have you on, Aldo. I really do appreciate you taking the time. I know you were kind of hurting a little bit, and
thank you, John.
But,
no, thanks for the invite. I don't really like doing, interviews and stuff like that, but much respect to you and what you've done in the industry.
Thank you. I do appreciate it. Now, someone hire me.
So and we'll hook up.
Yeah, absolutely. So no, definitely. So what we do now is for the Twitch people, we raid another channel, which the last couple times I've done it didn't really work, but we're going to try it again. So hold on one second. I'm going to put you in the waiting room while I try this one more time. So
thanks again.
All right.
God bless everyone.
Thank you, Aldo.
Good. Stay.
All right. So let's try to raid. Who are we going to raid today? Let me figure this out. Who is on right now that might like what we're doing? Let's say we go to Flipside's on, but he's probably almost done. You know what? Let's go to Scam. We'll do Scam Artists. Scam Artists. So, as you know, we are here pretty much every Thursday, bringing you interesting people. If you have anyone that you want to recommend for the show, let me know. I'll definitely try to get them on here. I actually have possibly coming on someone from a reality TV show, which I happen to watch, and if it comes through, it could be fun. So stay tuned for that. All right, let's see who we can get into here. Here's Scam. We'll do. You know what? Let's do Nick Styles. Nick's a good guy. So, but thank you once again for coming on, watching the show. We do appreciate it. You can watch the replays on YouTube or here on Twitch. And thank you. Until next time, it's John Parker and music, motivation, and mindset. We're going to raid now. Yes, we are going to raid now. Here we go. Me and my 2 viewers from Twitch. Most people watch on Facebook. So, what I can do. But, all right. I don't know if we rated yet. So, I guess I should put on his channel and see. That would be good, right? See, I'm not good at raids. I am not good at raids. Yep. Okay, we did raid. Very cool.